Welcome to the Indie Author Spotlight, where we interview indie authors about upcoming releases as well as life as an author, presented to you by Books, Brews, and Dogs. You can visit booksbrewsanddogs.com, purchase a blind date with a book, and support animal rescue efforts. Books, Brews, and Dogs is where you can buy a book and save a dog or a cat.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Books, Brews, Dogs Author Spotlight podcast. I'm here with Inara Gage, and it's always exciting when I get to talk to the authors about their books and just their life in general. So let's dig into it. How are you doing today?
Good, good. Yeah, it's Wednesday. Is it Wednesday? It's halfway through the week.
I know it's so ever since I got to California to help my grandma, like keeping track of the days has been like, wait, what day is it? Is it because her home care professionals that come in, the nurses and stuff that come in and check on her, they'll show up on Saturday, Sunday. So I don't have any days that are like, oh, it's the weekend to help me regulate anymore. So
Yeah, I work from home too, so I'm just like we used to go into the office one day a week, and that was Wednesday. And so you always knew Wednesday was like halfway through the week, but then now I'm just like I don't even know what day it is.
you're like, I just know I show up for work today or I don't, but whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I only know what day Friday is. So Friday's Friday and Monday, those, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's been crazy. Yeah, I went and picked up a little part-time job so that I could get out of the house a little bit because I'm still waiting for the business license to come through in California so that I can sell the books out here. But we're still selling and raising money for the rescues in Texas. So I have some friends doing that, but I haven't been able to. California is a little bit more complicated for getting a business license than Texas.
Is it?
So yeah, there's fees and I have to apply with the city, the county, and then the state.
Oh,
So I have to like go through all three and it's a little interesting.
yeah. That sounds like a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's a pain. So I'm still waiting for those to come through. So I went and picked up a part-time job just around the corner. I'm like, I have to get out of the house.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know the feeling.
Um, so let's talk about your books. Uh, and because I'm horrible with names, I'm gonna open Kindle real quick.
Yeah.
And I'm currently reading Bond, Bond with the Dark, book one, and that's your series. There's three books in that series so far.
Yep. Yep. Three so far. Yep.
Okay. And what I'm really enjoying about this is it's like a witch, fae, and vampire book. Um, so it's paranormal, it's more contemporary than it is fantasy, but it still has that fantasy element to it.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't finished this book, but I'm at the part where she's kind of started dating Dom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And she just went to the fortune teller, the tarot reader.
Mm-hmm.
It's bad that I forgot that because I am a tarot reader.
Oh yeah. Nice. I have tarot. I only do myself. I don't do other people.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was one of the things when I was walking the dogs and I was having the Kindle read it to me, um, is I was like, she knows tarot. You can always tell when someone doesn't really know it and they're making it up or they tried to research a little bit versus
Yeah.
someone who actually reads it and feels with the cards and stuff. And so I, that was something I did pick up on, that you at least read it for like yourself. And yeah, I work at the Renaissance Fair in Texas. I've been doing that for 8 years.
Oh, that's so cool.
I do parties and stuff too. So like corporations will hire me for their large events and stuff to go out and read. And
Oh, that's awesome. I will read for my friends. Like I will have them like handle, do the things, but like I still I'm like I don't claim to be like an expert or anything. I'm like I'll read what the book says, but I'm not sure that I'm the right person to be guiding you on this.
yeah, it's interesting. I used to teach tarot lessons too, so that was a lot of fun. Like I loved teaching tarot lessons. I might start again once things settle and we figure stuff out around here, but I'm actually taking care of the grandma that I'm here to help is actually the one who started teaching me how to read tarot. She gave me my first
Oh,
tarot deck. So
I love that.
yeah, so you can see that I'm basically live and work in her bedroom right now while the front of the house is for her and all her medical stuff. And so we have she painted that yin yang that's on the wall you can see in the mirror.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just it's a lot of fun like being here because we get to talk about a lot of stuff. We read a lot of the same types of books, and so it's been fun reconnecting with her. I haven't because I was in Texas for 10 years, so I didn't get to see her very often. But so okay, let's get back to your book because I could go off on all kinds of tangents
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
sexuality and all of that fun stuff. But let's talk books. So she goes to this tarot reader and she basically gets a warning about the betrayal with the Nine of Swords, and but she hasn't quite figured that out yet. That it's connected to Dom, and she made a point to say that she's feeling drawn to his darkness, and that if he turns out to be dark, that she's willing to go down that road with him. So that foretells some interesting things coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I'm really excited about that. What was your inspiration for this series?
Actually, the I mean, my own story, my own story kind of like inspired I went through a lot of stuff just kind of like back to back to back. And my friends were always like, you should write a book about your life. And I was like, I don't want to bore people. I don't, I mean, nobody's gonna walk through Barnes and Noble and be like, who's Devin or who's Nara, and like read like no one's gonna I wouldn't, but I'm not a big memoir reader anyway. Like I don't think I've ever read anyone's memoir, but I didn't want to write a whole memoir. So I was like, and I was playing with this idea in my head about this story between a witch, because I love reading and like so many different genres and stuff and fantasy, but it's always like 20 something or like like young 18-year-olds that haven't really been through it. And so I was like, okay, well, what if I give this witch, like, she's been through it, she's been through the ringer, and like kind of like going through my own story, I kept going like, why does this keep happening to me? Like there has to be a reason. And so I got this idea for this story. And I was like, well, I don't know my reason, but I'm gonna make it here, So like all these things
Mhm.
that Saya is going through, there's a reason. Like she's being conditioned, like, it's being said. Like anyway, that was the inspiration. And I also love vampires, and but I wanted to incorporate everything that I love. So book one is a lot more of the urban, but as they progress, I think book four is like complete fantasy. Like it doesn't take place at all in the real world. So yeah, it kind of
So
progresses.
there's a lot of kind of changing over into becoming more fantasy as
Yeah.
it progresses. So there's 3 books out right now, but you're writing or getting ready to release book 4 or
Book four is being written.
being written. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a date to get it to my editor by January 1st. And I don't know that I'm going to make that date just because I had two others. So another book's coming out in October. We'll probably talk about that I have been working on for a long time, and then another project I was working on. So I really haven't had the time to focus on that one. So it might be pushed out a little bit, but I would like to try to get it out by next spring.
So do you find that you write more than one story at a time? Do you kind of flip back and forth?
Yes, I do. I do. And sometimes to my detriment, because I'm like, I will write, I'll get going on a story. And just like okay, so book 4 is called A Bond with the Shimmer of Shadows. And I have a target word count that I have to get. And so I think I'm at like, I don't know, 20 or 30,000, which I really should be a lot farther than that. And then I'll get an idea for another book. And I'm like, I have to get it out of my head, otherwise I'll lose it. And so then I start on that one. And then I'm like, I get like 10, 15,000 words into that one. And then I get another. I have like 3 books I'm writing right now. And then I forget where I'm at in A Bond with the Shimmer of Shadows. So when I go back to write, I'm like, I have a deadline. I have to get this one to my editor. Now I have to reread everything I wrote because I forgot where I was at. So it's fun to switch gears and kind of get out of your own head and get away from the story, but then you kind of, with deadlines and stuff, I kind of set myself back.
Oh, sorry. Oh, my sleeping patterns are all off between, leaving Texas Central Time and going to Pacific Time, and then the having to get up early some days for grandma, and it's a mess. So sorry. So you have quite a few books out, but you also mentioned when we first started talking that you have a job. So how do you manage that? Because you also obviously have a family. I say obviously because there's a mirror with family and
Yeah.
and a stuffed animal back there. So picked up on a cue or two, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So you have a family and you have a job, but you have quite a few books out. So because you have the 3 books for the Bonded series, which is the one that mainly that we're talking about now.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the Beauty and the Beast story, which I did also get to read. But then you have another small series or 2, I think it's 2-book series out, which is another witch story. I haven't really looked into that one a whole lot, but you have 6 books out. That's a lot of books for someone with a family who's also working a full-time job. So
Yeah.
what does that process look like for you?
Yeah, it's been kind of a long journey, actually. The 2 books that you spoke of, the witch series, that was actually my very first series. And I wrote that back in 2009. And it was I had read I fell back in love with reading, and I read Twilight and I loved it. And I read another book where I was like, because I got back on this reading kick, and I read another book that was just about horrible witches. It was so bad. And I was like, at the time, there wasn't a lot of books about good witches and magic. And I wanted to write a story about good witches and magic. And so I came up with this concept, and I wrote the book, and it fell out of me, and 2 more books fell, and it was crazy because I was like, okay, well, this book was supposed to be part of the world, right? So I was like, well, what did Stephanie Meyer do to get published? Mind you, I had never written a novel in my life. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was like, I'm going to be a bestseller. And so I started querying agents, and lo and behold, I got one in New Zealand. Her name was Amarancha, and we worked to publish the book. Anyway, long story, we got a publisher. That book came out in 2000, and I think we finally published it in like 2013. So that's how long it took for me to like from getting the agent to getting the publisher to getting it to market or whatever. And then I wrote the second book, and part of the third, and then the publishers went under. And so the books got, I had to take them down. And then in, I think it was 2015 or 2016, somewhere along there, I was like, I'm going to self-publish. I really wanted that story out in the world. I thought it's a cute, like cozy coming of age. She's 16. She finds out it comes from like she finds out she's from a long line of witches. It kind of goes back to the Salem witch trials, but it's also like, it brings back a lot of feelings of like nostalgia and like first kiss and like, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I really wanted it to be out in the world, and I fell for a vanity publisher and I lost a bunch of money, and I was like, okay, maybe this book just isn't supposed to be in the world. So I kind of left it alone. And then I wrote A Bond with the Dark. And when I wrote that one, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna 100% self-publish this one, because I've done traditional, I've done vanity. It's neither one of them worked, right? So something's got to give. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna rebrand. I came up with a pen name. I got a new cover for A Witch's Aura, and I republished again a third time with a new name and a new cover and everything. And I absolutely love the cover now. Like it's beautiful. It's stunning. I love it. The other one was super boring, and it would just, now looking back, I'm like, wow, that was really bad. And so that between all of that, there was like years, in between that happening. But now I have so many, like, well, I have the 3 books out. I'm writing the 4th one, and then I have like those stories that I'm writing. I always try to like, I give myself a target, and I say, I have the Scrivener is what I write on. And you could put a target date in there, and then it'll tell you like how many words you have to write a day to get to your to get to your goal, which really helps me, because if I go into that target and I see, oh my God, I have to write 700 words today, and if I don't, it just keeps adding up. So I try to give myself, at least, I have an alarm on my phone to try to write at least once a day. And if I don't, then at least try to get, a good like hour or 2 over the weekend of writing done if I'm super busy. I mean, sometimes I just don't have time to like sit down and write anything. And other times I'm too brain fried from work all day that I'm like, I cannot write right now. But yeah, I do. It's a passion. I love telling stories. And so it's one of those things that like, I try. My son plays video games, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'll either read or I'll write.
Perfect timing. That's,
Yeah.
whenever my husband was playing video games or something, I'm always on the couch with a book in my hand.
Yep. That's it.
And I also play video games and stuff, but I'm like, I sit down once or twice a week for an hour or 2 and play it. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done. And it's definitely not as avid and stuff, but he is also a reader. So I've actually never read the Twilight series.
Oh, okay.
But my husband has, and he liked it.
Have you seen movies?
I couldn't get into the movies either.
The books are a lot better.
Okay.
But now looking back, like if I were to read it now, it would just give me I don't know. Bella's such a boring, blah ass character. I'm like, ah.
I don't know why it just never interested me. It's like Supernatural. I want to like that show. I love the guys who play.
I have tried so many times.
I love the 2 that play the main characters, and the little clips you see of how hilarious they are.
Yeah.
And I watch like all of when they go out and do events and they film, like I watch all of that stuff, and they're funny. And I have friends who absolutely love that show, and I have tried to watch it and I can't. And I want to like it, but I just can't sit through it.
I am same. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna really give it I've made it to like episode 7. I think that, and I've tried like on 4 or 5 separate occasions where I'm like, everybody goes on and on and on about the show. And then I
I've
cannot.
never made it past. I don't even think I've ever finished season 1.
Yeah. No,
So
episode 7, I think, is the farthest I've gotten.
yeah, I just, I don't know what it is, but it just doesn't hook me.
It doesn't eat,
And
no.
I'm a Buffy fan, an Angel fan. Like,
Yeah, same.
I watched all of those shows.
Vampire Diaries. I was a Vampire Diary
Oh,
girly.
me too. And the originals.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
started with
watched
the original.
Vampire Diaries, you had to watch the originals.
Yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
even watched Legacies, which is like the kids of the original.
Yes, I know. I was so like, you wanted to like Legacy so bad, but it just kept getting cheesier and cheesier. And you're like,
Yeah,
ah.
they they could have had such a devout audience too,
Oh my gosh, I know.
with the tie-in of the other two. But
Yeah.
um, so yeah, it's interesting, like where we all drive our inspiration from, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and what books randomly kind of go, I can make you go, oh, I could do that, because every author has a different one, and it's not, these well known. I mean, Stephanie Meyer's Twilight is well known, but it it's not like the classics that were like, oh, I fell in love with that made me. It's the ones that spoke to speak to people in a different way, that are always the ones that are inspirations, and classics speak to you and stuff, but the messages and the way that books like Pride and Prejudice and Huckleberry Finn and stuff speak to you is very different than the ones that speak to our soul, like, and oftentimes it's just one line
Mm-hmm.
too. So I read, technically, I guess this would be a classic, but most people I talk to actually don't even know of it, but it's a John Steinbeck book. It's called East of Eden. And
Oh
the
yeah.
only line I remember from that book is, she told the best lie of all, the truth. And it is the only thing like that I like seriously remember. I mean, I remember she was a little bit effed up in the head, but I don't remember a lot of the basics of that, but I can never forget that line. And
Mhm.
it seems to be that way for a lot of the people I talk to. There is like this one line in that book hit me, and I can't, like, and it got me to go off and do all these things.
Mhm.
And so it's amazing how other people's internal stories inspire us
Mhm.
to go do such amazing things, like write 6 7, you have what, 3 to 7 books out right now?
Yeah. What,
Six
3?
or
No, it's the 7th book. Well, it'll be out in October. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's just crazy. What an accomplishment too. That's
Yeah.
not an easy feat, especially with family and work, on top of everything. So, well done. Congratulations.
Oh,
It's,
yeah. It's
and
crazy.
they're fun stories. The Beauty and the Beast story, um, I read that one first because I love a good Beauty and the Beast story.
Hmm.
And I was really intrigued with the Beast being female in
Yeah.
the story.
Yeah.
And I love that she got cursed. I love how she got cursed and why, and kind of how that gets broken in the end.
Hmm.
Once the memory, she, gets the memory back of why, and there's like this what was it that I was holding on to? Because it really speaks to our ability to hold on to a detrimental and traumatic event, and how that event can literally change us if we don't learn to move past it.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
so technically someone else put this curse on her, but she only remained the beast because she couldn't remember the event.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as she remembered the event and worked through that, she was no longer the beast. And so I really loved that about the story. And I remember that part of the story more than I remember the little details, because that stuck out so strongly with me.
Mm-hmm.
That line, because it's so true. Like, if we just hold on to all of those painful events, we tend to become the thing that we didn't, or somebody we can't recognize,
Yeah.
and losing ourselves. And so it's a really great story in showing how we need to work to move past those events. So you did such a great job with it, but like, I can't remember details in it like I am with the one that I'm currently reading.
Mm-hmm.
I'm remembering the smaller details that have happened, but with that one, the overarching theme of it just is so overpowering that um it's just, I love it. I love that book.
Yeah, thanks. And that was the one thing I mean, I really want to dive deeper into that novel and actually make it a full-size novel, because that's actually my bestseller on the TikTok anywhere. I've not sold as many books as I have that one, but the main thing I wanted people to take away from that is that she, you know, it and I don't like give too much away, but it's like, you don't need a man to save you. Like, she figured out how to save herself, and that I wanted that to be the theme. Like, I didn't want that typical like Beauty and the Beast, like damsel in distress, like, oh, he's gonna save her kind of thing. Like, I wanted exactly what what you read from, what you took away from that, and that was it's such a beautiful story, and it was so fun to write, and it was part of an anthology. I don't know if so it was part of the Rage anthology, and we were raising money for the Chicago Abortion Fund. It was in protest for female reproductive rights, and
Mhm.
it's something I'm very,
Oh, it's a great story
yeah,
to
and
for
yeah, and like it's something I'm absolutely 100% like severely passionate about. Like, I will die on this hill, like kind of like that is, I will die on this hill. I don't care. Yeah. Anyway, so the whole theme was feminine rage, and I was like, okay, I want to write a story, and I kind of had the concept, but then I was like, oh, ooh, what if I do a Beauty and the Beast, but a reverse, like a reverse retelling where the Beast character,
Yeah,
the female. So
I love it. And it is the first time. Beauty and the Beast was always my favorite story. Um, because I always felt close to Belle, probably because she was a little bit of an outcast, loved books,
love
didn't
books. Yep.
nobody understood her,
Yeah.
and that's, I had, three stepdads, four stepmoms, lots of family coming and going constantly. And I was, you're kind of like all over the place. You don't ever feel like you fit in when your family changes every 5 to 7 years. You're just like, what? And so I kind of always related to her. And she was the one who was never, it was the one story that, of all the Disney princesses, where she more saved the beast than he saved her.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I think I always kind of liked that.
Yeah, yep.
about it as well. And there's just, but in all of the Beauty and the Beast stories I've ever come across, yours is the only one I have ever found. I'm not going to say it's the only one out there, but it is the only one I've ever found where the female was the beast. But even though she was the beast, she wasn't saved by the love interest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She still ended up saving herself, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he helped her realize a couple of things, but he didn't actually, he wasn't intending to make her realize. He was just asking her general questions you would be asked if you were curious about somebody you were forced to live with.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know. And so it's interesting. It's a really, really great concept, especially knowing that it's for women's reproductive rights.
Yeah.
That it was helping raise funds for that. It fits with that so well. And like, you did a great job. I understand why it's your bestseller. Like, I listened to it twice. So the fact that I can't remember details is so weird. But whenever I think about it, I think about, you know, how important it is for us to learn to work through the trauma instead of holding on to it and avoiding the pain, but kind of running into the pain head first a little bit, so that we can come out the other end faster.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, and everybody's journey with that is going to be different and have to be at their own pace. So
Yeah.
definitely, if you're suffering through extremely traumatic events and can, then get help. And you know, don't do it alone. You don't have to do it alone, but you know, definitely work towards that healing and help yourself.
Don't let it try not to let it consume you.
So you can recognize who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know. But what a cool thing. It's interesting because a lot of Beauty and the Beast, I keep running into Beauty and the Beast stories. So Sienna, who is the last interview before this one, is Beauty and the Beast anthology.
Oh, really?
And Jonna D, who is another author that I've done, is doing a Beauty and the Beast anthology.
Oh, wow.
And
That's
they're
funny.
all individual books. So they're not going in, they're anthologies that are their own books, but part of like this.
They're anthologies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's really interesting. So you're the third author.
Yeah. That's great.
Done that. And so it's really interesting that keeps coming up. And it's my favorite story. So
Yeah,
like,
I know.
You know, I'm getting these books when they come in.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're manifesting it because it's your favorite story. So. But I kind of, I mean, I've just the crazy part is that well, funny story. So I was I'm just trying everything to sell books. Oh, I don't know if you were you at A Million Lives? You weren't, were you?
I was not, but I heard about it through Lauren. And Lauren is actually the inspiration for the podcast.
Okay. Yep. So I was at A Million Lives.
Because we kind of hit it off, and then we were I had so much fun just hanging out and talking with her.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, well, what if I did this? And she goes, you absolutely have to do that. And so not only did she inspire it and encourage me, she helped promote it out to people so that I had enough authors sign up.
Yeah, that's how I found them. That's how I found you.
Enough. But I heard about A Million Lives through a post that I came across on my feed from her. I think it was actually a Threads feed about how she had lost money and she was just trying to recoup. And I reached out to her, and then I found a few more authors that went there and went through that and reached out to them. She was the only one who responded to me. Which I understand. Some random person's, reaching out saying, hey, maybe we can work out a deal. This is what I'm doing, and I'll buy some of your books, but I can't buy them retail because I have to resell them.
Mm.
So I totally understand it, but she reached out and we made a deal where she was able to make a profit, but I was still able to sell them at the price points that I needed to for the dog rescue work. And so it was, but that event, that hurt a lot of people.
Yeah. That was funny because my first ever book convention that I ever went to was Readers Take Denver, which was also a disaster, and I was an assistant at that one. And then A Million Lives was my first attending author, and upwards of like $5,000. I think I'm out from that. Like, just not only like she overpromised and underdelivered, but like she's all, yeah, I sold like 500 tickets. So I shipped 100 books out to Baltimore, and thinking that 500 people were going to come to that convention, and the whole thing was a disaster. It was insane. It was all over the news. But not only like the plane tickets, but then we like had booked a Verbo instead of staying at the hotel because my son, it was just easier. But the guy didn't tell us that there was stairs and my son's in a wheelchair, but then he wouldn't refund us, and we had to pay for two nights, two places, like, because he wouldn't refund us. Because like, apparently on Verbo, you don't have if you don't put wheelchair accessible in your description, then you're fine. Because if it says wheelchair accessible and then it's not, then you can get in trouble. But if you don't put it in there and somebody that's in a wheelchair shows up and there's stairs, they don't care because it's not in the description that it's wheelchair accessible. So anyway, that's my rant. But we ended up having to pay for two places to stay, the car, the vehicle. She didn't have any food. It was just the whole thing. So I have all these books, and then I sold like 20, and most of them were to other authors, which is awesome, And I had to ship all those books home. And so I'm sitting here in my office, like, just looking at this shelf full of my own books. Like, what am I going to do with all of these? And like, trying to sell them online, and it's just nothing's working. And so I started a TikTok shop. Because all right, so maybe people on TikTok will buy it. And I have had like been marketing A Bond with the Dark and A Bond with the Blood of Angels, and then A Bond with the Wrath of Demons just came out in, I think, May. But I wasn't marketing Beauty Within the Beast, and I didn't have any copies of it. So all of a sudden, I'm just like sitting, I don't even know but all of a sudden my TikTok shop ding goes off, and I was like, oh, you got an order. I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then it's like, oh, you got an order. Oh, you got, and they kept happening. And I only got, like 5 to 6. So I'm like, okay, I'll order 10 from Amazon, because I'm not marketing this book. I have no idea how people are even finding out about it. And so I'm ordering 10 from Amazon, and it takes a while because it's print on demand. Meanwhile, as I'm waiting for these, like, I ordered 10, I get 30 more orders. And the 10 aren't even, it took forever for the 10 to come in. So I ordered 30. And by the time the 30 came in, I had 30 more. So I just ordered 50. And I'm like, what? What's happening? I mean, I'm not complaining. I didn't even have any of those in stock. Like, it's crazy. It's cool. And I honestly don't know like what sparked that whole thing, but I sold a whole bunch of books. But like, I had originally wanted to make that book a full-size novel because I thought it was such a cool concept, and I had never heard of the female character being the Beast character. And all of this feedback that I'm getting, about people just loving it. I'm like, maybe I really should. And then maybe I should do an anthology and keep doing.
Get on that train.
Yeah.
Absolutely do it.
Yeah.
I will absolutely buy a copy of that.
Well, I thought it would be cool because part of the like maybe details that you forgot or whatever, like it is such a short book, so it's like there's not a lot that happens, but one of the main things that I really enjoyed was the mansion, the Hecate mansion, that it moved. Like it's forever changing and it's always trying to kill him. And so I'm like, we really need to dive deep into that. like that would be fun. I don't know.
I tried to reach back and pet him. He won't let me pet him.
Oh, you won't.
He's like, don't touch
Oh, don't touch me. I know my cat's over here playing with the rubber band. What are you doing?
Oh, that was my cat's favorite toy.
You see
I always
him.
say that my cat raised Perrin because he acts more like a cat. Oh, little black kitty.
Yeah, that's Fox. Hi, baby. What doing?
We had a black cat. His name was Onyx.
Onyx.
Yeah.
Aww.
He had so man-made onyx is solid black, but naturally made onyx always has white speckles or a white streak.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually let Onyx name himself. So I had him for probably 3 weeks before we found a name. And I was explaining to somebody about the onyx, whether how to tell man-made versus real for black onyx anyways. I don't know how to tell the difference in green onyx, but in black onyx it has white speckles or a white streak in it if it's natural. Well, every time I said the word onyx, he would jump in my lap.
Oh.
And so I was like, okay, so I tried it for a week. And whenever I said Onyx, he would come. So he would come when I used, so he got named Onyx. So he named himself.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I like that. That's awesome.
but I had him since he was like 3 weeks old. So I bottle fed him, even. But he was 14 when we got Perrin. And so the first year of Perrin's life, he spent with Onyx. And there are certain things that I'm like, that is your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Your brother did that.
Mm-hmm.
That's but anyways, rubber band, the point was hair ties were his favorite toy. He would play fetch with them.
That's what he does too. That's the only cat I ever know. Like he will come, he'll bring the hair tie and he'll drop it right here and he'll wait for me to throw it. And off I've never seen a cat do that. And that's funny that that's
Yeah.
like he's waiting for me to throw it right now so he can go fetch it. It's hilarious.
So yeah, that's weird. And they're both black cats.
I know. I'm like, do I have Onyx like reincarnated over here? Like
Maybe. But like, so Onyx also had like white speckles in his belly hair. He was fully black, but if you turned him over, he had like a white streak with a couple of white speckles.
oh, that's cute.
So it was interesting that he chose that name because he looked like a natural onyx stone.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But that's funny because I've never known any other cat to play fetch either.
No, and then you said hair. That's exactly what he does. Like he will look for hair ties so he could play fetch.
I have a video of him realizing that there was one on the coffee table and he's peeking up because he knew he wasn't allowed on any surfaces where there would be food.
Mm-hmm.
So he was looking at me on the coffee table trying to get this hair tie off the coffee table. I have a video of it.
No.
But he would dig through my purse. He'd open the drawers in the bathroom in order to find them. He knew I had to keep finding different places. When I moved and you move everything to clean under it,
Yeah.
there was probably like 10 hair ties under the fridge.
Every time I move this couch, there they all are.
Yeah, if you're ever missing hair ties, you just move the couch, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
That's so funny. What's your kitty's name again?
His name is Knox. It's short for Equinox.
Oh, that's cute.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, but we never called. We always just he got called like he went through like 5 different names. Like we just couldn't. Nothing sounded right. Like his name when we got him, his name was Bentley, and Bentley didn't work, and just nothing was fitting. And I read a book. It was Nature of Witches, and she had a black cat named Equinox, and called him Knox. I'm like, okay, I think that's it. But we call him Key or Kitty or Kitten. Like we never really call him Knox.
It works that way sometimes.
Mhm.
Onyx was often called baby boy more than anything.
Mhm. I call him Baby Kitten. Baby
Yeah.
Kitten. And he doesn't respond to Knox. He'll like if he's doing something like the TV screensaver will come on and he wants to go jump on it. I'm like, Knox, and he won't. If I go Key, he'll look at me. Key.
Yeah. So yeah, Perrin is actually named after a character in Wheel of Time.
Oh.
So he's named after the one of the main characters that is able to talk to wolves. So my husband and I are both Wheel of Time people, but we're the book people. We
Mm-hmm.
never made it through the first season of the show,
Mm-hmm.
which is very, very different.
That's what I've heard. I've watched the show.
The show, I think if I had not been so attached to the characters in the books already, the show is great if
Mm-hmm.
you're not attached to the books. But if
Yeah.
you have an attachment to the books, it's really hard to watch the show because they're not the same characters.
No. Did the author have any part of the making the show? Like,
So, um, Brandon Sanderson, I think, did a little bit, but Brandon Sanderson was uh only wrote the last like 2.5 books of the series off of the notes because Robert Jordan passed before he finished the series.
oh yeah, that's right.
And Brandon Sanderson did an amazing job of finishing the story off. I think he stayed true to the concept and the way that the characters are written. You do see a little bit of his darker flair come through in the last books. I mean, I couldn't imagine as an author trying to write
Ugh,
somebody else's story
my gosh, I can't.
and not have any of your style come through.
Yeah.
But you can tell that he really, really tried to keep it as much of Robert Jordan's style as possible. So, but my understanding is they didn't really listen to him and on his notes about they just kind of did what they wanted and
Oh, that's too bad.
yeah.
I hate when they do that. I think no, it wasn't. I don't know if you ever, it was a YA thing. The Mortal Instruments.
Oh, I love it.
I know. But they bombed the movie. They bombed the movie because of, and I truly, truly, truly believe it is because of who they chose to play Jace. I'm sorry, I am not a Jamie Campbell Bower fan. And when they told me that they cast that scrawny dude as my Jace, I was like, the fuck? I was so upset. I was so upset. And what's her name? Cassandra Clare was like, she's all, guys, don't worry. I trust you, trust me. It's gonna be great. I've seen him. And then the movie flopped. And I'm telling you, it's because they picked the wrong. Well, I didn't too much care for that Clary either, but when they made it into a show on whatever, I liked the show a lot better.
Yeah, the show I liked
Oh,
better than
so
I
better.
liked the movie.
And the
It is
Bane
it
or
is such a good story. I
yeah,
love that story.
so good. And even did you read the prequel to the
The Angel, Clockwork Angel one, yeah.
that was my favorite, like almost of all time. Like I just love I love like older stuff like that anyway, but just the whole thing with Jem and all of that, I was like, oh, I love that story. And then how they all like kind of come into be or whatever. I mean, I didn't really like the way that she did Jem because like you get Jem and you're like he would never choose that, like what. But yeah, I was really really disappointed that it flopped so bad because it would be such a great series if they just cast it right. I don't understand why it keeps flopping and getting canceled.
So series or one series that I really really want to see come to life. It would be so hard to do because I can't. It wouldn't be able to be live action. It would have to be anime because even when I read it, I see it as an anime, and it's Anne Bishop's Black Jewels trilogy. I From the very first story time that I read that, because I'm one of those people, I imagine the entire world, and I'm like projected, astral projected into their scene as I'm reading it. I'm like picture. I feel like I'm like
Mm-hmm.
in the corner watching everything unfold when I read because I can see everything. But when I read that book, I'm like everything's a cartoon, like it's all anime.
Uh-huh.
I can't picture it as a live action, but man, do I want to see that anime so bad.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite series is the Black Jewels trilogy by Anne Bishop. It's an older series and it's basically, you know, what the caste system would look like in hell,
Oh,
except like they're good. Like not everybody is bad, it's just magic, but like they literally use like hell, and the main character's name is Damon, his father's name is Satan.
oh,
So
cool. I'll have to read
spell
that.
it, Saetan, and it's very, I don't know, it's just very anime-ish when I read it, but it's a great story. um it's a really great story, and I think in the end there's like 13 books. Like if you could continue it, and she goes in so many different directions with these characters. But
Oh wow. Yeah, I'll have to read that. Oh,
yeah, it's an older book. I think it originally came out in the 80s
oh wow. Yeah,
or early 90s.
I haven't even heard of it.
I mean I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that it was like early 90s, late 80s or something when it came out, but don't hold me to that. So,
Mhm.
anyways, let's go back to your stuff that you're doing right now. So, you've got one book coming out in October. You've got another book that you're writing that is supposed to go to the editor in January. So we're hoping we can at least get close to that deadline.
Yes, I know. I really got to get on it. Now that the zombie book is it's done edited, it's done, it's with the proofreader. I can focus all my attention on book 4.
Yeah. So it's really exciting to see, how much you're getting out there and stuff. I really love the concept of your stories. The ones that I've read, well, the one that I read, the one that I'm reading now, and then, the cozy, witchy coming of age story that you were talking about that's another thing that I love. I love those like cozy, witchy stories. Rebecca Thorne's probably one of my favorite authors right now with her little cozy adventure series that she did. Um, but you have stories kind of all over the place. So, you have the really dark Beauty and the Beast one. This one right now has darker elements to it, but it's really just a nice, good story as of right now. It feels like it's gonna get darker.
Mhm.
But that, that's gonna come with time over the series. Is what it feels like. Like
Mhm.
it's giving that vibe of it's preparing you for the dark stuff.
Mhm.
Where that Beauty and the Beast one that you did kind of jumps right into the
Right in it. Yeah. Just
just
pitch black right there.
jump head first right into all the dark.
Yeah.
But then you also have the cozy story, and then you have your vampire and witchy stories, your beast story, and you have a zombie story that's coming
Yeah.
in October. Why don't you since that one's coming out next month, talk to us a little bit about that one.
Oh, I'm so excited about this one. It took so long to write this book. I got an idea. So I love Halloween, all things spooky, as you can tell. Like I'm all about fall. I'm like, ready, let's go, let's do this. So, but I love like horror movies and this like Walking Dead and Z World War Z and just all the like zombie apocalypse stuff. And I've like the concept of writing like dystopian just because I think it's cool-ish to think about the end of the world. Not, like it's a weird place to be. But anyway, I was watching The Walking Dead and I was like, oh, I wonder what, because my son, he's in a wheelchair and he's diabetic. And then I'm a cancer survivor. So that comes into play. But I was like, I wonder what a mom with a kid in a wheelchair who's diabetic would do in a zombie apocalypse. And then I was like, I wonder what would happen if you gave zombies chemo. So,
Oh,
so I came up with this concept where the whole concept of the book is this oncologist who had, treated people for cancer gets, it's I started writing it in 2019 because I came up with the idea, but then it's horror, so it's really hard to it's hard to live there for too long, so it's taken a while for me to write. But anyway, it kind of got incorporated into coronavirus. So now the zombies in my book are called Ronas, and coronavirus went sideways. And this oncologist was like, well, I wonder what happens if you give zombies chemo, and yeah, let's try it out. So he pulls one in and gives it pureed vegetables and chemo. And lo and behold, after this whole purification process, the zombie does start coming back to life. So the skin gets healed, like all the rotten skin kind of grows back in. And the doctor's all like, wow, that's great, it's cool. And he starts talking to the guy, and the guy like gets in real good with the doctor and had been chained up, because he's a zombie, he was a zombie. And he's like, let me get you out of those chains, like get you real food, whatever. And uh comes back, and Charlie, who is the first patient A, is not actually healed in his mind. He just looks healed. So he, eats the doctor, and he's a real bad guy. And once you eat the brains of somebody, you absorb their memories and their like intelligence and stuff. And so now Charlie, he's a bad dude. Now he knows how to do this purification thing. So he's like, I'm going to go make an army of us. And now you have an army of these people, like, zombies who are healed. And the only kind of telltale sign that they were a zombie is kind of like scarred, like burn like scars, like where their skin grew back in from being rotten. And it depends on like how rotten they were when they got the purification process. Anyway, this book kind of like is a oh well, then we kind of meet up with our new group of survivors, who is a mother with a child in a wheelchair who has diabetes. And there's a lot of representation in here. There's a lot of like, I mean, my main character, like I wanted to put, I just wanted to throw, I wanted it to be, I want, and everybody, I don't know, I just didn't want to write a typical like cis white female. Like I wanted to be different. And so I kind of it's just a very diverse group of characters that kind of find themselves in this situation. And then you don't know if somebody that one of your favorite characters is actually Rona in disguise. So then it's kind of like a murder mystery flipped on its head, where it's like, instead of trying to figure out who the murderer is, you're trying to figure out who the zombie is. So yeah.
That's really interesting. And
Yeah.
it sounds like a lot of fun. That's
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
It was it was a lot of fun. It took a long time to write though. I mean, I started writing it in 2019 and I'm just getting it out now because it was like, I don't know, I kept getting stuck. And I write about witches and magic, and I it's so hard to like when you're used to like not having rules to follow, you have to follow rule. Oh,
Sorry. I'm trying to see if I can angle this to get. Wasn't trying to interrupt you, but this is the perfect time to try and see if we can get.
oh yeah. Yeah, but scratches. What is that? I love it.
Scratching his butt right at the tail like he
And
likes.
you got it on camera.
Camera's here and it's being held. I wonder if I can get that.
That's hilarious.
Been
I'm
trying
so
to do
glad.
that for forever. So
I'm
that
so glad I got to witness that. That made my whole entire night.
I'm
That
glad I did. I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I thought about doing it because
yeah,
it is the funniest tip.
that is so cute.
I've never known a dog when you get their spot, that it's always the foot
Yeah,
with the tongue out.
it is so adorable. I want to snuggle him and boop him on his nose.
I know he's the biggest snuggle bug. He is traded me in for my grandma. He loves and adores her. If she's sleeping, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see a picture. So she went and got the flu shot and it gave her the flu.
Oh yeah.
And so she was sick for like 3 days and he'd get up there and he'd snuggle with her and he'd lay with her. And she was finally feeling better yesterday. And she actually like sat up in bed and kind of got up and did one or two things and went back and laid down. She still wasn't feeling great, but he started yelling at her like, um, we're supposed to go outside and play fetch. Like this is the time we go play fetch. And and at first I didn't realize what he was doing until he turned around and looked at me and was like, "That's not what I said." I was like, "Get up there." She said, "She never tells you no, just get on the bed." And he's like, turns around and he barks at me, and it was very much that's not what I want. He wants to play. And then you see him like run off, and he went looking for his little stuffy so he could bring it to her to play with him.
Oh.
But for the whole time she was like bedridden and actually had the fever happening, he never once asked her. He would just jump up there and snuggle her. But he's so fun. I tried to take him on a walk and he's like, we get too far away from the house. He's like, you have to take me back. And the first thing he does is go and check on her.
Oh, that's sweet.
He's found his new favorite person.
That is so sweet.
But yeah, it's been fun. It's been a journey. It took him a while to adjust being here. It was a big change for him, but he's settling in and opening back up. But
No.
so anyways, zombie story.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm just ready for it. It took so long. It was just, like I was with the fantasy, you don't have, I mean, you have certain rules you have to follow or whatever, but like it's magic. You can make up whatever you want with like gore and horror and like it's like contemporary, but not. It was just, I don't know. It was just really, really hard for me to write. But then once I got done with it, and now that I've like it's been edited and I've just got done reading it, like the full, edited version. I'm like, wow, that was really cool. I want to do that again. So I'm like, and it also kind of like sets it up to be a series. Like I didn't want to do a cliffhanger again because all of my book, well, I don't think Beauty Within the Beast doesn't have a cliffhanger, but all my other books end on cliffhangers. And I kind of wanted to like leave it open. Like I still resolve everything, but I leave it open. So like, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm ready for.
I love books that do that when you can read it as a standalone and then not be like, oh my God, I am waiting for the next one. Because it's so, especially these days, I'm freaking it's driving me crazy. Um, especially these days, it's like really hard. Murphy, that's my desk. What are you doing? Murphy's causing earthquakes. Sorry, everybody. Uh, but we almost every book that comes out these days is a part of a series. And so like I'm waiting on like 6 books that are the next in a series, and they've all ended on cliffhangers. One of the ones that's coming out in October that I'm looking forward to is the Games Gods Play. I think it's the Games Gods Break or something is book 2. And I'm just like, the ending of that book, I wanted to murder the author.
Yeah, I haven't read it yet. I think I have it, I think.
It's a really, really good book. I love the world that she created. And then she ends it, and I'm like, we've gotten so used to not having to wait because we just wait until the entire series is out on Netflix and then we binge watch it, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to wait for anything anymore unless you read.
Yep.
It's just like, why do I have to wait
I know.
a year for this book to come out? So it's just so frustrating because I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
But it's nice when you can come across a book that you're like, ooh, I liked that book. I'd love to have more of those characters, but you're not sitting there just like
What happened?
clenching your fists in your teeth going, I have to know.
Yes.
So like it's nice. I love it when authors give us that little reprieve and we can find those books that, I want to know, but I could finish this book first and then go back into that world. And so
Yep.
that'll be fun. That'll
Yeah.
be I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited about the book you have coming out. I love the concept. I already have 3 people I'm going to recommend it to
Yay.
in my head. I'm like, oh, I know who would love that book. And so it's gonna be a lot of
And
it'll be a lot of fun
yeah,
to
it's
see
perfect.
that
Like
life.
October 7th, it's perfect spooky time reading.
It really is. It really is. Um, yeah, so we'll see. I'm hoping with this having to move to California, everything got thrown off, and I need to re-up my indie author books that I've been buying to go out on the tables and stuff too. So who knows, maybe I'll be able to put yours on there.
Ooh.
I love I love doing that, and then like being able to tell, and when I have indie authors on the table, it's the first books that go.
Yeah.
They're the first ones that sell every time because we wrap the books, and so nobody knows what they're getting. They get 3 sentences max on the back of the book. Sometimes I only put 1 phrase. Like if I read the book and I'm like, oh, this phrase will be perfect, I'll put a phrase, and that's all they get. And then like the genres that it falls under. But if it's an indie author book, I always put indie author. And those are always the first ones to go because everyone knows it's a book they haven't read.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. I love it. I will forever be, even like one day if I ever get picked up again by a trad publisher I'll be like forever love indie books. I think they're the gems. Like they're just
One of the things that I spoke with Sienna about in her interview too is you get things in indie books, stories and concepts in indie books that you're not going to find in trad published books,
yeah.
or not as much of.
Mhm.
Um, because indie authors don't have rules they have to follow. They don't have to speak to publishers going, well, that's not going to sell. It has to be like this, or it has to be like that. And so, and you get a lot of their heart and soul poured into their lived experiences poured into these books. And
Mhm.
it makes for amazing stories. And yeah, you're gonna find more spelling errors or things like that. You know, more, maybe more grammar errors, because not all of them can afford an editor, and not, but you know, to me, that's not worth negating the story and the meat of the story. Like,
Mhm.
and so it's I know, like, a lot of people, at least on Instagram, you know, when you follow the book communities, well, if it I'd buy more indie authors if there weren't those errors. And I'm like, when you write a book, come, I haven't written a book, and I couldn't imagine how many errors there would be.
Oh, yeah.
Just knowing how many times I had to rewrite papers for school.
Yeah.
And it would still come back with errors to write a novel, or, you know, a novella or a novel that's 300 pages or more. You're like, I can't even write a 7-page paper without having an error in it.
Yeah.
I just, so, I am really happy that so many of you, with all of these amazing stories, don't let that get to you when, you know, people just have to have something to complain about. And because they're always going to be there. And but it is hard. It is hard to put yourself out there and to do those things. And like, it took me probably 2 months before I finally set the first interview, and was like, okay. And it was with Laura, and I was like, okay, let's just do it.
Mhm.
And then I recorded that interview without sound. So I actually had to bring her back in and do a second interview.
Oh, no. Oh gosh, how heartbreaking. I would have been like, oh my God.
Yeah. So it's like, I mean, I didn't mind so much because I got to hang out with Lauren again and it was fun. But at the same time, it was like, what do I, why do I think I know how to do this, or that I'm capable of doing this? Like, what makes me think I can do this? And, you know, I imagine that that's probably how writing that first book feels.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. I just
And
like,
um, you know,
right?
just for all of us that have found your stories, and all of us that will find your stories, thank you for pushing through that and getting them out there, because they are a lot of fun to read.
Thanks.
And I really, really have enjoyed it. We are coming up over an hour. Uh, So we went on lots of tangents today. So
Yeah.
let's recap the books that you have, and then I'll in post edit I'll add that stuff, and the release of the one coming out October 7th, the zombie one coming out October 7th.
Yes.
So if you have a picture for me
Mhm.
that I can put up of that, then I'll get that added as well. So let's recap these books and where people can buy them.
Yeah.
So your TikTok shop or anything else, I always try to send them direct to the author, but I know
Mhm.
most indie authors also use Amazon. But if you do have a way to buy them direct from you,
Yeah.
then
Yep.
I definitely want to be promoting that.
Yeah. Yeah, and so my TikTok shop and my website. So my website is just www.inaragage.com. All of my books are on there and they're cheaper and they also come signed with stickers. And Amazon's cool and everything, and I still get a little bit of royalty from Amazon, but it's better if you buy it either. The TikTok shop too, I mean, that's fine to buy it there. You still get it signed and it is cheaper than Amazon on TikTok shop too. But I think the best place, like I would prefer of both, my website and then TikTok and then Amazon, kind of in that order, just because, yeah. Anyway.
Well, Amazon takes so much.
Yeah, they do. They
They-
do. And then you don't get them signed. And if you're gonna get like, an indie author, like, well,
Yeah, your commission from an Amazon sale is it's pennies.
yeah, yeah.
It's pennies. I don't even think it makes it to the dollar per book.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first books that I wrote, or the YA-ish, it's towing a line there. I mean, there's what did someone say it was called? Like new adult, but they're
Adult.
yeah,
Yeah,
new adult.
genre that they generated.
Yeah. But I mean they are still 16 and 17, but they they're a little more adult than that, but it's not like
I
super.
mean, I was more adult than what people consider
Yeah,
16,
I know.
17 at 16 and 17. So
Yeah, I know. Same. So that's A Witch's Aura and Aura's Dilemma. That's on Amazon. I mean, that's on my website, and Amazon and anywhere you get books, really. I think it's all like the ebooks anyway. It is part of Kindle and it is part of Kindle Unlimited. So if you and Audible, no, sorry, not A Witch's Aura. A Witch's Aura is not. And then my series now that's coming out is the Beautifully Broken series, and that's A Bond with the Dark, A Bond with the Blood of Angels, A Bond with the Wrath of Demons, and then the last one will be A Bond with the Shimmer of Shadows, in that same place. And A Bond with the Dark is on Audible. I haven't made book 2 or book 3 into the audiobook yet. I do plan on it. It's just when the funds become available. And then my zombie book is called Enlivened Decay, The Purified, and that will be out October 7th. And then Beauty Within the Beast, and that's the novella.
it's so much and it's so exciting, and it's my TBR just gets longer and longer every time I talk to you guys. Every time I do an interview, I'm like, oh, I have to add so many more books.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy.
Aw, he's snuggling.
It's definitely time to go. This one is begging for attention at the moment.
Oh,
That is the first time he's ever pawed at me to
really?
get attention. So that's a mom, I need you now thing.
Yeah.
So that's funny. I know I love having my dogs in here, but sometimes they distract me and then I have to remember that.
Yeah.
Sorry, everybody. But Inara, thank you so much. So
Yeah.
much for joining us. Thank you for putting your stories out there and letting us, live inside of your head a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I'll be at Books, Gowns, and Crowns next weekend.
Okay.
And then Spellbound in the Valley on October 20, I think it's the 24th. And the events are on my website that I'm going to. So I'm doing the Books, Gowns, and Crowns in the this month, and then Spellbound in the Valley October, and then Wicked Readers in Tacoma in April.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So if anybody's there, come see me.
Wonder if I'd be able to make a trip to Tacoma.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be so much fun.
That would be.
So I'll just start saving now.
Yes. And yeah, it's April. You got a ways.
Yeah, I've got time. I've got time to save.
Yeah.
So
I had so much fun talking to you. It was super
oh,
easy, and yeah, I
thank you.
definitely had a lot of fun. So thank you for inviting me.
I love talking I loved talking with you, and I love getting to talk to all of the amazing authors that I've spoken to so far. Um, you guys are just a fun group of people to talk to, and you're so interesting and so many things going on in your life, and yet you find the time to put your stories out there and entertain us and give us, these small joys and things to think about. And, you know, I really, really, truly appreciate the work and the love that you put into the stories, and, working to just put yourself out there. And I admire it. I think it's absolutely amazing what you do.
Oh, thank you.
So, thank you for joining us. Everybody, we're going to send you to her website so you can purchase her books. Her bestseller, Beauty Within the Beast. Absolutely amazing book. But do not discount the other books either, because the Bond one that I'm reading is absolutely amazing. And the zombie one coming out October 7th sounds absolutely brilliant. And then Inara is also going to be at events coming up, and I'll put a list of that at the end of the video so you can see that. But you can also find it on her website, which I will put above my head here. And just thank you so much for joining us, Inara, and giving us the time to get to know you a little bit better, and what it is, how you do what you do with the stories. So I look forward to hopefully meeting you in April.
Yeah.
No, I can't make any promises. I am a new caretaker, so it's going to depend a lot on that. But
Oh.
I am just very excited, and if nothing else, I hope to be able to interview you again and just
Yeah.
get to sit and talk. I would really love that. And so thank you. I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
And we'll talk again soon.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.
And